Hello friends, welcome to all of you for this video session number 45. In the last session, we have discussed on the important benefits that are obtained using, or we can say the important benefits that we can get by studying the consumer behavior. In this session, continuing to that, I'm going to discuss the important factors affecting consumer behavior and buying decision process. Students, as I have already told you, in simple, I'm going to put it across. Consumer behavior is nothing but the process that starts from the thinking, buying, and using the products. The process, the moment when the consumer or the customer decides and then he purchases the products, in between what all happens, that complete process is called as consumer behavior. I gave you meaning about all these things, and also some of the important factors also are discussed in the previous sessions. Now in this session, I'm going to start important factors which have a very strong bearing on the consumer behavior and why a consumer behavior is influenced by certain factors. This consumer behavior definitely leads to purchasing of any products and services. Now, let me speak about the concept of important factor. How does it influence any kind of a consumer? Consumer behavior studies individuals and groups when they select, purchase, use, and dispose the products, ideas, services, and experiences. Consumer seeks items to satisfy their basic needs and desires. Consumer behavior is much more than studying what the consumers buy. It really attempts to understand how the decision-making process goes and how it affects consumers' buying behavior. Friends, I have already spoke about the concept of consumer behavior, not only limited for buying, but it also includes more than that. The consumer behavior that really starts from zero or scratch to everything. It develops an intellectual process. It decides in the mind what to buy, what not to buy, what is the kind of a product you would like to buy, what is the price, from which company should I buy, should I go for physical shop, or shall I purchase any kind of products through online. Now all these things will have a very wider scope. Hence, consumer behavior is definitely worth more studying than what the consumers buy. It definitely helps not only the customers but also the business people all around the world. If they want to have the successful marketing strategy, in the sense they have to first determine and study on what kind of factors that will have a very strong bearing on consumers' actions. Now let me straight away take you through this important slide, that is factors affecting consumer behavior and how the buying decision process will differ. See, for example, if I have to buy any particular product, means my decision making process is not only mine. So my decision to purchase any product is influenced by certain social factors. Social factors in the sense it includes the family, reference groups, family and all. Now let me speak about this one. Social factors that really affects consumer behavior significantly. Yes, social factors will have a very strong bearing on buying of any kind of a product. Every individual has someone around influencing their buying decisions. I have already told you, if at all, if you want to buy a mobile phone, means my buying decision would be influenced by somebody else. It may be my mother, my brother, my sisters, and somebody else. Therefore, the important social factors, see the factors that has a very strong social surroundings or bondings, that I could say, reference groups. So maybe your colleagues, those the places in which you are working, your friends, your kids and families, family, your own family member will tell you to buy certain kind of a product only. Suppose, for example, if you want to buy a four-wheeler car, means, so my parents will have a very strong opinion on me, or my siblings will have an important role to play in me deciding what kind of car should I buy. Therefore, role and status. Role and status is also a very keen important factor. So depending upon the status, what is the status of you, if you're working in which company? If you're working for a top class company, it means definitely the situation demands you to buy a high quality product. Suppose, for example, you're working in a Wipro company, means definitely it will make you to buy the most prestigious goods. You're going to buy a car which starts from 50 to 60 lakhs. That is things like that you are going to buy. Now, let me speak about the important personal factors which really have a very strong bearing on the individual's buying decisions. See, the personal factors means, see, I am an individual. If I want to buy any products, means definitely my individual factors are influenced by so many things. It may be depending upon the age of a consumer, and of course, the life cycle state, the occupation, the age of the person. See, if a person who is having an age of 20 years, he has a different kind of an purchasing habits. Suppose, for example, if you ask any individual consumer to buy a two-wheeler, means definitely he would go for buying Yamaha R1 kind of a bike. So Bajaj Chetak and all would be preferred only by the people who have 40 or 60 plus years of age. Again, occupation, economic situation, lifestyle, and all these are personality, self-concept factors will have a very influencing factor on purchasing what kind of a product that should I buy. Again, consumers change during their life and buying of products alter depending upon the age and stage of life. Yes, if you are a youngster, means you are going to buy in terms of apparel, you are going to buy the casual kind of a clothes. But when you are going grower and when you are growing older and older, you are going to settle the clothes which will have a formal sense. So this is how the age factor will also have a very strong bearing on the purchases, whatever you are going to make. Age related factors, see, when it comes to food and all, clothing, recreation, and furniture, again, your personal factors will have a very strong bearing. Moreover, the environment definitely has a values, lifestyle, hobbies, and consumer habits evolve during lifetime. The family life stages change, there's purchasing behavior and brand selection. Yes, I do agree that the changes in case of a family life and the changes in purchasing behavior of a personal factors definitely will have a very stronger role in terms of selecting of a brand. So some people would like to go for Peter England, Zodiac, and Alan Solly kind of a class only because they might have tasted the use of all this kind of a clothes. Denim jeans, you take an example. So all these personal factors will have a very strong influence on purchasing of any kind of a product. So students, let me go for the next slide. So in this slide, I'm going to have a very clear-cut information that I'm going to deliberate now, psychological factors. So psychological factors, the name itself very clearly tells you that, so it depends upon how you are going to intellectually, you are going to decide. It depends upon your motivation, it depends upon your perception, learning, and beliefs and attitudes. So how you are going to take the things, how you are going to receive the things, how you are going to believe, all are your intellectual mind related process. Definitely it will have a huge impact on the kind of a goods that you are going to buy. Again, a consumer is an individual who has a different kind of needs. So these needs can be biological first or psychological, arising from the need of recognition or belonging. A need can be aroused to a sufficient level of intensity when it alters a motive. A motive is basically a need that drives the person to seek satisfaction. Yes, definitely. So then the motive and the need of any individual, it depends upon your intensity. So intensity again is also one of the most important criteria in case of psychological factors for buying any kind of a product, and whatever you are going to buy and you are going to get satisfied through your selected products. That is also very important thing. Now I have explained with the concept of psychological factors. Here I have put it across in a diagrammatical manner through which you will be able to better understand. So the important factors that is inculcated with the psychological factors, they are clubbed into motivation, perception. Motivation, it may be a self-motivation. Motivation comes from outsiders. Perception, how you are going to receive the things. Your intellectual thought process will definitely make you in deciding the kind of a product that you would like to buy at your disposal. Learning. So you might have learned certain things from buying the previous brands. Suppose, for example, see, you might have learned buying the cars from or Tata Company Limited, it may be a Toyota Company Limited, you have the learning experiences. As a result of your past learning experiences, you are going to buy again those products. Attitudes and beliefs, yes, definitely. Attitudes and beliefs are also one of the important psychological parameters or factors that most of the people will have towards their buying. You take an example of the attitude of bureaucrats like IAS officers, IPS, KS officers, they have a different kind of a mindset. On the other hand, the people, those who are associated with the middle class people, and they are working for a daily wage laborers, they have a different attitude and they have a different beliefs. So again, psychological process through attitudes and beliefs also, it really reflects on a different kind of a mode towards the buying of any kind of products. The next, the most important factor that we people need to understand in this heavier competition that is happening in each and every day's business domain. Economic factors that really deals with the money and the savings and your disposable income, the level of income, what you earn, and the social class, everything would be included. Let me explain with the help of this diagrammatical representation. Economic factors that really most affect the demand for consumer goods, such as employment, wages, prices, inflation, interest, and consumer confidence. Again, see, I'm going to explain very clearly now. The pandemic 2019 is going on all around the world. The economy has been completely stood down completely. It is absolutely very difficult for the daily wage earners and other masons kind of a people. So in this kind of pandemic situation, people would not go for buying other things except essential things. So people's money will have a very strong influencing character on buying only those essential goods like clothing, vegetables, milk, food, things like that. They will give much importance and confidence. Soon after they satisfy all these kind of basic needs, they will be on the lookout for other things like, for example, clothing, mobile accessories, things like that. So therefore, economic factors that really has an important, constituents, personal income. See, whatever I'm going to earn, based on that, I'm going to decide what kind of a product should I buy. Family, see, on the other hand, if my income is more, means I would go for buying some luxurious goods. Suppose, for example, if I need mobile phone, means if my income is more than 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs in that sense, definitely I'll go for costly products. For example, I'm going to buy Apple phone worth rupees 70,000. On the other hand, if my income level is very less, means less than 20-30,000, means I cannot think even of buying an Apple mobile phone. So personal income will have a very huge impact on your decision making process. Again, family income, see, once you are depending, once you are the member of a family, you cannot spend money lavishly, or you cannot spend money like water, because your income is completely dependent by your income will be, so many people are dependent on your income, so your family income will be less. Again, when your family total income will also be less, means definitely you also have to think about how you have to so rationally spend your income. Consumer credit, yes, see, the availability of consumer credit will also have economic factor. See, when somebody is coming forward voluntarily to give you credit, means you would go and buy them. On the other hand, if you do not have money, means if nobody is going to give you credit, means you cannot go for buying a product, whether it is essential goods or non-essential goods, liquid assets, savings. So these are the most important, economic factors that will have a huge impact on the buying of any kind of a products. So whatever the products, no matter whether the products depends upon your luxurious things or the products that is reflects on your, essential things. So one is important, that is how well you are going to have your economic conditions. That's very important. Yes, the next important thing, see, cultural factors. Yes, what is this cultural factors? So cultural factors means, culture means what I have learned, what my parents and ancestors have taught me. That is called as culture. See, my parents might have taught you to spend very low income, spend less amount of money on the purchases. Things like, for example, on luxurious things, my parents might have told, this is culture. See, when you talk about the culture of Western countries, people, those are super rich and rich people. So their parents might have told them to spend money like anything. Lavishly means they are going to spend money like anything. For example, people, kids of big business people, like for example, film stars you take, business magnates you take. So their parents have taught them in that kind of a scenario where they spend money like a water. So this is how the cultural factors will also have a very strong bearing. See, again, it depends upon your culture, your religion also, your customers' buying decision process will also be influenced. See, in different religions, different people will follow their different religious customary practices. So whatever their culture says that the culture demands them to spend money, yes, they are going to spend. In case of Diwali, so people are going to buy the crackers and they are going to burst the crackers. This is the culture of a particular religion, says that Hinduism. In case of Islam, so amount they are going to spend in the months of Ramzan and other kind of things. So it makes them to buy certain products and spend on others also. Likewise, in the different cultures will be different things. You could see that. Again, cultural factors will also have a very strong bearing. See, cultural factors, especially country like our great India, we have a lot of cultures, subcultures. So our business and buying process is completely influenced and supported by our culture, what we have learned, what we have experienced in the past. Again, subculture is also, we have a social class. Yes, we have. So different kind of people are living all together in a society. You could see. So higher income group people you could find, moderate income group people you could see that, and of course the low income group people also you can see that in a society. So the society is the combination of all these kind of people, those who are working at the different kind of levels. So as a business magnates, as a business barons, so it becomes your job to understand these social class people and offer the products and services. So by keeping in mind the social class concept of customers. So social class is also very important influential factor. See, if I belong to low income group people means definitely I would go for buying the goods which has a lower income. I'll be settling for the moderate kind of brands. I'll be settling for, I mean, the quantity which is higher. I am not going to bother about the price. I'm going to bother about the quantity. I'm going to bother about for at a very cheaper less, at a very cheaper quality, at a very cheaper price. I should get that. I'm not going to bother about the high quality. So on the other hand, if I belong to a higher income class means definitely I will bother about high quality products. See, if I want to buy any footwear means I'll go for buying international footwear because of my social class. So celebrities like cricket stars you take, Dhoni you take an example, Kohli you take an example, Salman Khan you take an example, Indian superstars you take an example. They have a different kind of attitudes towards buying any kind of a products and services. So again, see, as a consumer, if before I see you take my own example, if I want to buy a product means I'm completely filled up with this all cultural factors. So I should be abide by my culture. I should not buy the product which is against to my culture. See, in case of different religion, they have a different restrictions. They are not going to break up the restrictions. So alcohol is prohibited in case of Islam. Taking of interest is also prohibited in case of Islam. This is cultural factors. As a result of that, you can see all this kind of hurdles happening. So definitely culture will have a different role to play. Culture altogether in the sense not only religions, but also they have their customary practices also. So these are the things that we need to look out for when we talk about cultural factors. So students, these are the important things that I just wanted to highlight in this session. So I'm really very impressed. I'm really very much happy to be given as a job of this creation of e-content development for the University of us. Okay, so let me once again quickly go through with what we have done it in this class. We have started off with the concept of, yes, revision with the last class, that is benefits of consumer behavior we have taught in the last class, and this is session number 45. In this session, I have covered important factors which have a very strong bearing on the behavior of a consumer and the buying decision process I have discussed. This is very important. And so introductory part, I gave you about what is consumer behavior and how does this consumer behavior will have a, different kind of a role to play altogether in the buying of process. And then there are a list of as well as the series of factors that will have a very strong impact on the purchasing of any products, social factors, society in which we are going to get different kind of factors. I have discussed personal factors, how the factors belongs to a person will have a strong bearing on the purchase of products. Psychological factors is also called as intellectual factors. It includes perception, attitudes, beliefs, learnings, motivation. All these things will be included in this particular concept. And then I have explained with the help of this small diagrammatical representation. The motivation speaks about perception is what we understand and receive. Learning, attitudes, beliefs also we have discussed. And then, so the most important thing that covers for most of the business organizations also discussed. Economic factors that includes the personal factor, personal income of the people, family income, disposable income, savings, consumer credits, availability of consumer credits, and the liquidity assets, of course, savings, and cultural factors also have thought. So it includes culture, subculture, social class. So all these things, hope you understood. So students, if you have any clarifications, definitely you can feel free to post your comments in the comment box so that we can develop our content and we can come up with many more videos. So thank you everyone. So in the next session, that is session number 46. So I'm going to cover with some other topics, the topics that I'm going to tell in the